of all the credits that we've named, right? There's one we haven't even brought up at all, which threw me off so much because I had no idea. You worked on Uptown Funk.
I did.
That is a massive record with Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. How did that come about? Like, how did you guys?
Speaking of big drums, I created the big clap and a couple percussion elements and shit on Uptown Funk for Mark Ronson,
Right.
And it was another one of these out of the blue calls. Mark calls me, and I had never met him, never talked to him. Was a huge fan of his work. I mean, that first Amy Winehouse album was just
Insane. Yeah.
So I'd always wanted to work with him. So he calls me. The first thing he says is, he's like, I really, really love your work, and I have got to apologize up front for asking you to do some really simple shit. And I'm like, bro, if you asked me to get you coffee, you would have a cup in your hands in 5 minutes. What do you need?
Right.
And so he told me, and nobody knew at that time it was. I'm sure they had an inkling, but I didn't get to hear the whole record. I just heard like the section of the record that I got to work on.
Gotcha.
And so I heard the music and but no vocals.
Wow.
And then it comes out. And you're like, you're not expecting a Mark Ronson record to blow the fuck up.
Oh my
It's, but you're happy to be on it.
Super Bowl.
And then Uptown Funk, oh my God.
Yeah. It was to the moon.
Man.
And what a song.
What an amazing from front to back.
And the thing about, first, how is it like having a diamond record?
I've got 4 of them now.
Oh,
so
I'm about to say, like, I was like, he's got a few.
I know,
Mariah
when
Carey.
you think about it,
a few of them.
It's so fickle with streaming and
It's
everything.
so
No, I'm
fickle.
saying, like,
No, I hear you. You know what it is? It's kind of hard.
A lot of records that you've done, I would assume, have gone double, triple diamond.
Yeah, you've done BTS records. Like you've done so many. What?
Still on Bruno, yeah.
No, it's fine. No, I'm just saying as far as the credits and stuff like that. Like one thing as far as engineers is concerned, and I love Muso. Thankfully, we starting to have
Muso's
that
great.
one platform that's kind of like
That's showing
I
us
can
the
look you
credits.
up
Yeah,
it's kind of hard for years. We would have to like anytime, even when we have people on, it's like okay, I know about you, but of course there's records I don't know you did, and I would love to just kind of like study. So it's nice to see like even your Muso's laid out nice and clean, top 1% of engineers on earth. And I'm just able to see some of the records that you've done and stuff like that.
And yeah, it's insane to see. But Uptown Funk, it sets the tone for one of my favorite albums of all time because it directly preceded 24 Karat Magic, the entire experience, which I feel like Bruno's one of my favorite artists of all time. So
mine
that
too.
album, and it's still his last album that he put out. Like
That's
solo,
his last album?
Solo album, yeah.
Solo, yeah, he's done Silk Sonic,
Right,
and
I
he's
know,
done
but-
the Gaga
Yeah,
solo stuff.
2016,
But
24 Karat
He let
Magic.
that.
Man.
He said,
Yeah,
Bro,
that's gonna
Bruno
be
had
sitting
2
for that for
Super
a bit.
Bowls before his 3rd album. That's fucking insane. But going back on it, one of my favorite songs on the album that you worked on was Perm.
Yeah.
How was that?
Ooh, love that record.
That was sample recreations again.
Really?
James-
And yeah, I did the horns on Perm. And didn't tap in Danny. I did all those with libraries, which is a fucking nightmare, but it's possible.
What libraries did you
yeah,
use?
wait, exactly.
Man, I have so many. When I do sample recreations, I don't necessarily think about the tools. I listen incredibly intently to what I'm trying to recreate, and then I let my brain tell me what to use.
Yeah.
So I don't really think too much about how I got to an end result. And if I'm recreating like an orchestra or a string section or something, it's almost never from one library. It's always from multiple different libraries, and often I'll have like a string player come in and layer just one part or so until I bought the Rolly. Then I don't need string players anymore. Sorry, string players. But,
Wow.
that Rolly is.
What is that?
The MPE keyboard, right?
Oh,
the black keyboard with
Yes.
the black
With the-
rubber things.
so you can get the expression of everything.
Yes.
I didn't know
So-
Logic had MPE compatibility.
Yeah. It does.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said yes, they
Oh, yeah.
do. Wow, Logic is a little
man,
sneaky,
yeah.
low key.
Now
I'm
they
so
fire.
mad FL still doesn't have it. So stupid.
Yeah, there's this thing called the SWAM engine. I think they're closing it down, but I still have it. And but it's like a suite of solo instruments like violin, viola, cello, all the strings, and a bunch of horns, flutes, things like that. And if you spend enough time with it and you dial it in right, you can get that shit sounding exactly like a real player.
Interesting.
It is
Really
shocking.
interesting.
Wow.
And the thing that I've noticed about the Rolly is sometimes having like a single viola or cello play a line in a section is much more powerful than using an entire string pad of an orchestra.
Gotcha.
You know, because the orchestra is like diffuse and it isn't, and this cello just sounds dead real, and it just gives you the space and the vibe that you need for that string element. And so I find that a lot. I may layer that on top, or I may only use that. You know?
Wow, got you. So you just got a bunch of like Hans Zimmer, like all the
It's Spitfire.
Spitfire, East West.
East West classic.
Yeah.